Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, hello, hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay, please. This is going to be a group energy healing live stream where I heal 130 people in 12 different countries that have purchased this healing set, this set of 3 healings 2 months ago. But as I do the healing, I will talk out loud and say what I'm doing, so it also functions as an all levels healing walkthrough. So you could do energy healing on yourself, even if you don't have any experience with it. There's probably enough that you would understand that you could do a really nice healing on yourself. And if you're advanced, there would still be plenty that would be very interesting for you in the walkthrough, most likely. So everyone's welcome to watch as I work. There'll be a quick little discussion at the start, and then there'll be 3 minutes of quiet, and then there's the healing walkthrough part, and that's the biggest part of the live stream. And then at the end, there's a little discussion, which I think I may be a little more disciplined about how short that discussion after the healing should be today. But anyway, let's see. I'm waiting for confirmation to see if people can see and hear me okay. Should be able to see and hear me okay, but we'll see. Yes, oh good. Hello from Chicago. Thank you, thank you. All right, so I'm going to, as I'm waiting for more hellos, oh good, another one. Hello from Las Vegas, can see and hear you. Yes, good morning to you too. I'm going to preview, I'm going to look back for a moment on the first healing that we did 2 days ago on Friday, and then preview today, just a little bit high level. And of course discuss the theme of the 3 healings, well, of all the healings this month, all 5 healings this month. The theme is, it's like a dual theme of dream big and focus, which they're separate. They're not the same thing, you know. It's not like more of the same. They're contrasting things. To be able to focus is different than to be able to dream big. But I think putting them together helps make sure you're going to be present, because you have to be pretty present to have good focus. So dreaming big, sometimes I think people can get sort of spacey about it, you know, and that's not as helpful. So I think that's why the angels paired them together, just so we can make sure that you can be fully present and engaged in your life, and also actively think about what you want and what you need, and you know, take steps towards that. That is, you know, something that will work today, is that those questions of what do I need and what do I want, and for a lot of people that triggers a lot. Just asking themselves those questions, consciously or subconsciously. And that's sort of the challenge of dreaming big, is you want to be able to clear the energy blocks so that thinking about what you need and what you want is not a big drama, you know, that it's a natural thing that you can do. Because then it's kind of natural after that to, well, that sort of making your dreams happen. Once you can be flowing and present with what you would like and also what you need, I think creating it is, you know, a lot easier. And 2, if you're more present, what you want and what you need will more likely be aligned with your path and your purpose in this lifetime, versus like sort of out in left field stuff. Like one time I had a client who was really fixated on being like a billionaire. I don't even think it was a millionaire. I think she felt like it was her destiny to be a billionaire, because that's the only way she could be a good parent. Because then she would have all this free time, and so then she'd be a really good parent. So it's like being a good parent is challenging enough, but no, she convinced herself that she and her husband needed to be billionaires in order to be good parents. So um, that I would say is and because her angels were like looking at me like, oh, like it was not a part of her path. But so that's an example of, just kind of, you can have irrational needs and wants, I mean, or like fixate on something, to a point where it's not rational. It's not necessarily unhealthy to want abundance, like extreme abundance even, as long as it's not upstaging your more important goals, like, maybe to be a good parent, to live a healthy life, to have fulfillment, to learn and grow, and, be inspired every day. So try to think of those underlying qualities, because that's usually um, not going to get you stuck. If you fixate on a very specific thing, and you find that you're kind of, you can get kind of stuck on that. So anyway, we're going to work on the flow of that dreaming space of what do you need, what do you want, do you have flow with that? Because if you have presence and flow, you're much more likely, like I said, to be more in tune with your higher self and your angels and your path in this lifetime, and and sort of the deeper things. So there's that. We're going to do a lot of energy block clearing today, because I just was noticing most things come back to energy blocks. Like, there's flow and then there's lack of flow. And when there's lack of flow, sometimes it could be damage, but we take care of that in the beginning of each healing with those 4 essentials that we're going to do. Energy, grounding, wide flowing grounding, aura repair, chakra repair, creative ring repair. That sort of gets you all mended up. And then beyond that, it's, flow versus being blocked. And, when you have blocks, you have stuck energy. And so there were a lot of symptoms of having energy blocks that I was noticing in surveys. Thank you, everybody that did fill out a survey. But, feeling impatient, feeling jumpy, feeling on edge, feeling avoidant, like avoiding your work, or avoiding meditating even, or avoiding, a certain task. A lot of times that is because the task triggers energy blocks and you're not clearing them, and so you want to avoid those getting even more triggered, and so you don't do that task. Like an example of energy blocks and how they can cause you to be avoidant is sort of a simple example, I guess. I was ordering seeds, like vegetable and herb seeds for this year, and I don't technically need them yet, except they sell out pretty quickly, because of, ever since the pandemic, a whole bunch of more people are gardening than before, and so yada yada, things sell out. So I wanted to make sure to get the most important things, as far as seeds, before like all sorts of varieties sell out, and then I have a lot less choices. So I got my tomato seeds ordered first, and then, different things, and I would order, just like batches. I would get motivation on a certain thing, So one day I'd finish ordering the greens. One day early, I ordered the tomatoes, like that. And I wasn't ordering beans, like green beans, like string beans. And I really wanted to do that. I wanted a lot of green beans, because even our dogs can eat green beans in the food that I make with them, and we like green beans, so why not grow a lot of green beans, right? And last year I tried, but totally failed. I mean, mostly failed at growing green beans. So yeah, I really, really wanted to grow green beans this year, but I hadn't ordered any green bean seeds, which, obviously is a problem. And so I was like, well, gee, why am I not ordering them? Finally, I realized, like, okay, there must be energy blocks. What's triggered? And so it turns out that I have a past life where, like, there was a lot of famine, and we almost, whatever family I was in at that time, had a problem with not having enough food, and our green bean plants did really well actually. And so the green beans really helped us to not go hungry. We ate a lot of green beans. And so I had energy blocks about like how important green beans are, and I had these associations with going hungry and green beans. So it was like triggering all this like fear of not having enough food, not having enough resources, you know, all that stuff, just with a silly green beans order. Yeah. So you don't have to know why you're triggered, you know, what you're avoiding. You just know that they're most likely energy blocks, and then you just blow them up, you know. So you just put the blocks out in front of you and blow them up. It's just, you know, since the more present you get, the more you can read why you're stuck, which is interesting and sometimes amusing. Even. But anyways, that's just an example of, of being stuck, and that makes you avoidant. So anyway, long story short, I cleared the baggage and ordered my green beans. But sleep problems can be in part due to energy blocks that get triggered, like because beings or people are courting those energy blocks, and so it's kind of like a wiry feeling. And so maybe you can only sleep for a certain amount of hours, and then like the wiriness is too much, that the like jumpiness, and so then you wake up for a whole bunch of hours, and then maybe you can go back to sleep again. But yeah, so that can be energy blocks that are triggered. Not always, but it can be. And then even like inaction, like, so no jumpiness, just like sort of feeling paralyzed and that you can't do anything. That could be energy blocks too, because there could be blocks that are just too triggered, and you're like, I can't deal with it, and so you pop out and like sort of float above, you know, and zone out, and you're avoiding these energy blocks that you're not clearing. So we're gonna just clear them so you don't have to avoid them and have sleep problems and not order your bean seeds and, you know, all the different stuff. Blocks can even cause you to have like an unpleasant inner response to other people. Like somebody mentioned they were hearing these people that are angry at them, like they're in a conflict, like for real, with some neighbors, and they kept hearing the neighbors like saying mean things about them, like in their mind. And they thought they were getting paranoid. But it wasn't paranoia. It's called conscious telepathy, where you can hear people's spirit level communication. And it's very common for people that are in a conflict with someone that they will get sort of locked into nonstop talking about it. A lot of times women more than men get caught up in that on a spirit level. So if someone's mad at you, it's possible that a part of their spirit is bad mouthing you 24/7 or almost 24/7, you know, because they're stuck in it, they're looping on it. And so there's a telepathy, there is a communication coming towards you. So the ideal in my mind would be not to shut off all telepathy so you don't hear anyone or anything ever, but try to work your fifth chakra a little more so that you have more selective hearing. Like when my telepathy, my ability to hear nonverbal communication turned on, it everything turned on. And so that was a problem for me. I wasn't particularly in big conflicts at the time, so it wasn't that, but I could hear like guys that were attracted to me physically. You know, I was in my early 20s, and I could hear that, and that was kind of grossing me out. Particularly, you know, depending on the person, you know, it was like, oh, I don't want to know that. So, but I was really motivated to keep my telepathy. So I just asked the angels to help me to turn off the hearing of guys that are horny for me, you know, so I didn't like hear it, because that was gross for me. So you can work that with your, you know, healing your throat chakra and also asking your angels to help you with that. So maybe you don't actually have the conscious telepathy of the people that are ragey towards you. But because you want to, I mean, I would think you want to keep the telepathy, like say with a pet. If you have a pet, you want to be able to hear them. That's kind of interesting. And, you know, talking to tree spirits and talking to your angels, being able to hear your angels consciously is priceless. So I would say, you know, it's not paranoia, first of all. Second of all, don't shut everything off again just because you're freaked out about hearing your neighbors rage at you. Um, you know, just heal your fifth more, your throat chakra more, and ask your angels for help with it so that you can, you know, fine tune it and just turn down the speaker about ragey neighbors. Sometimes it's cords going into your telepathic mesh still, but that person had already healed that and they could still hear it, which is just they're just hearing through regular telepathy. So anyway, and then one client was like raging, like being angry in their own mind towards other people, and they were kind of stuck on it. So what that is typically is they are hearing, well, in that case too, but it's not that uncommon. If you hear telepathy and somebody's saying something to you, like maybe it's your mom going, well, can't you just focus on a real job, you know, or something that's triggering for you, something that they're saying that's triggering for you, and then you get caught in your automatic knee-jerk reaction to it. Because telepathy is one thing, you know, people can say what they say, they can have their little judgments, and you can train yourself to be at peace with their judgments. You know, train yourself to be at peace with that people have free will. And even if they said they were going to pay you, they decided not to, and that's their karma. And that's that, you know, end of story. And you can work on being at peace with that. And so you don't have to react. You know, they might be stuck in a telepathy with you, sending all this stuff that's triggering to you, you know, communication. But communication is just sound. You don't have to get locked in your side of the argument. You know, just let other people do their little unstable whatever, and you just work on getting more and more peaceful. A nice challenge for yourself, if you do have someone who is, you're really worked up against you, is just keep breathing and just have a little game with yourself, that the more freaked out they get, the more calm and present and peaceful you get. And so as they're raging, just keep doing deep breaths, and just say, I can do this. I can be at peace with that person's rage. So they're just going, you know, and you can just find your peace with that. Just, you know, you're already safe. You already repaired your stuff. So it's just, you know, it's just your awareness of their anger. But don't shut down all your awareness, because, you know, awareness is cool most of the time. And then, you know, so you don't have to get locked in these knee-jerk reactions. A lot of times those are energy blocks that are causing you to be so reactive to an external situation, you know, so that you just automatically jump into the reaction without being able to consider it and rein yourself back and just center yourself. So we're going to work that. We're going to work clearing energy blocks that cause all those imbalances that I just listed for like the last 10 minutes. And we're going to do this technique, which I think I like it. I hope other people like it too. We'll see. We're gonna do, you know, like in a playground, there's a slide. Like kids can, you know, in like a kid's playground, often there's a slide, and so, you know, you can get on the slide and you slide all the way down to the bottom, right? And so. And so we're going to work that as sort of an imagery practice about having fun, and also about being able to dream. So it's sort of a visualization, energy clearing exercise we're going to do. We'll have a fun slide, and then we'll have a dreaming slide, dream big slide. And we'll see, like, are you able to get on the slide? Are you able to go halfway down? Is the slide all blocked up and weird? And so you can clear that, so it's a nice slide, and see, you know, how far down the slide can you get, and is it enjoyable? So we'll work that. Oh, right. So I'm going to catch up on some comments, and then we'll do the quiet time, 3 minutes or so before the healing walkthrough starts. All right. We can see and hear you in Chicago. Good, thank you. Oh, weather report here. It is rainy, but not raining today, which is nice. But it must have rained at some point today because there's like a lot of rain on the branches. But it's like 40s today. I mean, high 30s now probably, but I think it's going to be mid 40s a lot in the next 10 days, which I'm excited about. That's definitely above freezing, so yay. Yay! I don't think we're even gonna get below freezing at night in the next 10 days. I mean, I think one night we're getting really close to it, but so that's kind of great, I think. Alrighty, someone says hello from Evergreen, Colorado, sunny and 48. Ooh, see, we don't have sunny. Sunny? That would be nice, but maybe like parts of a couple days we'll have that this time of year. Someone says hello, hello, can see and hear you. Oh, good. Good to know. Thank you. Someone says, homegrown tomatoes. Yes. How about that? Last year was our first year with that. That was exciting. Someone says, where is the block for anger, regret, especially anger at oneself? Yeah, so emotions in general is second chakra, second layer. So second chakra, second layer. So counting out from the skin, that's the first layer, and then the second layer. So blocks here would be sadness or anger, one or the other. Also, fourth chakra and fourth layer can feel, blocks there could feel like anger sometimes because like resentment or an extreme dislike of yourself or an extreme dislike of others could be fourth chakra and fourth layer. So fourth and second. But you don't really have to worry about where blocks are. You know, you can just make piles of them out in front of you. So here's all the baggage that's making me angry with myself and just keep blowing it up. You know, and just do gold light all the way up and down your spine to unblock all your major chakras. You know, so you kind of cover all your bases. That's nice too. Regret, you said regret. Yeah. That can be fourth. Regret. But sometimes, you know, if you get caught up in these hypotheticals, like, oh, I wish blah, 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 this wouldn't have happened, or I wouldn't have done that, or this person wouldn't have done that, and blah, 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 you're out of your body. Generally, there's some stuff in your aura, and you're kind of like, so much energy is in those blocks that it's like you're caught in a movie reel of like this scenario that happened, or this choice that somebody made, or this thing that somebody did or didn't do. You know, and so you're fixating on like the movie of that they didn't do it, or they did do it, or you didn't do it, blah, blah, blah. And so you just gotta like blow up the movie, you know? Because when you're in your chakras and you have good flow and good grounding, you're not gonna be looping on stuff like that. So again, it's energy blocks. So we will be clearing a lot of that today. But again, you don't have to know where it is to clear it, as you will see as we go about the healing. Okay, cool. So now we can do our 3 minutes of quiet time, 3-ish minutes, during which time I will finish my prep. I will say hello to the 130 people that I'm healing. And I will start the healing during that time as well. And you'll, when I go like that, that's me starting the healing. And then I'll start talking after about 3 minutes of quiet, and the walkthrough starts then. So thank you for your patience with my quiet time. If you have a healthy beverage, that's always nice. It's good to stay hydrated. All right, thank you for waiting. So when you heal yourself, you could use a copy out in front of you and use your hands to heal the copy, and therefore you're healing yourself. So you create the copy with your intention or your thought. You don't have to be able to see energy yet to do that. So you create a copy of your 17 auras out in front of you. You have the physical body aura, the astral body aura, and then 15 auras called Wei Chi auras, Weichi. Wei Chi is a natural defensive energy that you have. And so anyway, it looks like 15 bubbles all in one place. And some of them can be damaged or blocked. And so once we do grounding, then we're going to repair the auras as well. So you imagine your 17 auras, and then your physical body and your astral body are inside there, and then your groundings. You have a physical body grounding and an astral body grounding, and you can recreate those, and then we'll go ahead and unblock those as well. So go ahead and recreate your grounding. Make it big and wide as your whole aura, which if you let your aura be nice and big and flowing, it's as wide as the heel of the palm of your hand, roughly. You stick out your arms. So make your grounding that wide and bring it up as high as your third chakra, which is where your ribs meet, right below where your ribs meet there at the bottom, where your sternum bone ends. That's where the third chakra is. So bring your grounding up nice and high up to there, red or orange or yellow, and make it wide all the way down to the core of the earth. And you have a copy of your grounding out in front of you. I say grounding, but I really mean both your astral body grounding and your physical body grounding. So they're two separate groundings, but they're in the same place, so they look like one grounding. And so you comb through both of them with gold light from your hands. Your hands generate energy. Well, all chakras generate energy, and you have a big chakra in the palm of each hand called your hand chakra, and you have big energy centers, one in each fingertip. So you set all these energy centers in your hand, the hand chakra and the fingertip chakras, to a metallic gold color, like this glitter. And that would allow these chakras, as they naturally spin, to generate energy at a gold vibration, which is good for healing and repairing and unblocking. So you have your copies of your groundings out in front of you, and you just wash through them with gold light and get rid of the clogs. Just melt them away. Okay, and then indie grounding. I need to be able to watch. I should get a clock that has really big numbers so I can see them without my reading glasses on. Anyway, I'll write that down. Make a note. Do it yourself. Big clock. Anyway, so indie grounding is also related to that, where you check the sides of your grounding all the way down to the core of the earth, and you use gold light from your hands, and you melt away any attachments going into your grounding or leaving your grounding. Just melt those away. Because grounding works best when it's not attached to anybody else's. So even if you have little kids, it's not going to help them. It's going to be counterproductive to link up your groundings together. So it's like your little kids are their own trees with their own grounding. You're your own tree. One of my clients, she lives with her daughter, teenage daughter, and her mom, and they're three very different women. Like, they're just different. You know, like sometimes you have someone who thinks like you and acts like you just naturally, and that's maybe sometimes kind of fun, right? But a lot of times that doesn't happen. So even if they're genetically related to you, they're not very much like you. And so, so if you try to keep making people who are not like you to be like you, then they will dislike you, right? It's like if you're a ship and your natural direction is north and their natural direction is here and here, don't try to force these people to be going in the same direction as you are. Otherwise, they're going to be pissed off at you pretty consistently. So, part of how people might try to control others, even, with good intention, but is to link up grounding to that person and to try to, influence them to kind of change their vibration and the way they're acting. So, sometimes that's sort of the, in a relationship, I guess occasionally it could happen in a good relationship, in one that's worth keeping and just fixing a little bit. But a lot of times it happens in relationships that are just unhealthy, period, and can't be fixed. So, anyway, so if you do indie grounding and just wash everybody out of your grounding and make sure that you are not linking it to their grounding either. Just let people be different. They can decide something that's upsetting to you. You trying to control them and to change their mind about something is just gonna make you nuts. Potentially. So this is indie grounding, where you just use lots of gold light around the outer perimeter of your grounding and make sure that you're not hooking into other people's grounding or vice versa. All right, so that was indie grounding with some examples. Of course. Okay, so now aura repair. So, like I said, you have 17 auras. They're all in the same place. So you just imagine all your auras. And first you can just comb through them and see, where most of the damage is. Just imagine. And you can start washing out all the rips with gold light. But then you can use composite. You could do that until they all repair. But it may be more time efficient to use composite copy technique, where you just imagine one rip, and with your intention, you make that rip represent all the rips in your 17 auras that are healthy and gentle for you to repair right now. So you have your one composite copy rip, and you clean that out and repair that. So you use lots of gold light. And if you don't have good vision, you might not realize when the rip is cleaned out enough to start repairing. So you could use sticky gold wax to make it clean. So sticky gold wax is gold light from your hands that hardens and sticks to anything that's not you, which then makes it a lump. So you can lift all the junk out at once and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. So again, fill up your composite copy rip with sticky gold wax. Fill it up. Let it stick to everything that's not you. And lift all that out all at once. Angels, here you go. So now your rip is clean enough, you can let the gold light repair the rip. All right, so that probably repaired most of your ribs, but you could have a few extra rips that are still there. So go ahead, we'll just do it one more time. Make another composite copy rip that represents any leftover rips you still have that are good to repair right now. And then do the same process. So sticky gold wax, fill it up, have it stick to whatever's not you in the rip. Lift out the junk all at once. Angels, here you go. One more time, fill up the rip with sticky gold wax. Lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. And then use lots of gold light. All right, great. So that's the basics of aura repair. Then we're going to do a little bit extra, of course, which is nice to do, but only if you have time. I mean, that was the basics of aura repair right there, what we just did. So the extras is you can have leftover hardness, like either inside the two regular auras that have layers. Sometimes pressure can kind of bounce around, and layers of hardness can happen in a certain part. Or you could have, that's aura bruising, and then aura scarring is at the edge, and it could just be a big patch of it that's all hard and bumpy. And so hardness in your energy system is actually not strength, it's weakness. It tears much more easily, and people can cord it really easily. So you don't want the hard junk. You don't want any hardness. So you can just lump copies of all your hardness, all the, aura scarring and aura bruising, make a big pile of it and melt it away with gold light. And just keep making more piles because, sometimes you have so much that it just doesn't melt all at once. So just make extra piles of your aura scarring and your aura bruising, and then melt it with gold light. And again, make more piles of your aura scarring and bruising, any that's left over, and melt them with gold light. All right. Also, with all this aura work, we could do two techniques that we do a lot to get rid of beings and to get rid of hard objects. Hard objects that people throw at you. Like somebody in their survey, they were like, oh, I have some tightness around, one of my ovaries and around my hip area. And so she was healing it, which is great, and you can heal the aura around there and heal inside that area. But she also had hard objects that were thrown at her stuck there. And so that's really hard to make good flow there unless you just get rid of the spears, right? So we could do that. Sticky gold wax sometimes is nice for that because you can bond the wax to the hard objects and then just lift it out all at once. So you can just sticky gold wax, your body, all your body channels, all the parts of your body, but then all your auras, sticky gold wax those, especially the outer surface. Sticky gold wax the outer surfaces of all your 17 auras. Sticky gold wax the outer surface of your groundings and inside your groundings. So we want the wax to stick to all those hard objects from other people, all the devices from other people, all the hard objects that are healthy and gentle to get rid of right now. And then you're going to just move all that out at once, the wax plus the hard objects plus the devices. So just, angels, here you go. Thank you, angels. And you can do that again. So sticky gold wax, the whole thing. Outer surfaces, inner stuff, inner auras, physical body stuff, astral body stuff, grounding stuff. So, and then just move all that out at once. Have the gold wax stick to the hard objects and the devices or whatever, and just move it all out. Angels, here you go. And that's usually kind of a big shift, so just breathe into your major joints, your hips, your knees, your ankles. We will do more hips and shoulders unblocking today. We did do that 2 days ago, and that seemed to be nice for people. So we're going to do that again later in the healing today. So then collapsing gold nets is another thing you can do with your energy system. And I mean, any of these techniques, they work to get rid of beings too, but sometimes, just like it might work one way better for you. So collapsing gold nets might work better for you to get rid of invasive beings. So you just make a big cube of giant gold nets that are bigger than your whole energy system. So all the way down beneath this core of the earth, gold netting, all the way up, all the way around you. And then you collapse in the nets and have them tangle up all the invasive beings and invasive people that you need to get rid of. And just lift all that out at once. Angels, here you go. Couple deep breaths. And you know, it's funny because it's like beings, there are ones that have different sort of approaches. There are some that just try to hide, you know, like, oh, I'm not really here. I'm just a shadowy part of your energy system. There are some beings that try to pretend like they're you or they're part of your inner child or something. And there are some beings that are really like kind of menacing, you know, they try to spook you out and be like, you know, make you feel like you can never wish for anything, your dreams will never come true, life is terrible, you know. And so they try to, they're definitely not hiding, they're trying to be looming, you know, and larger than everything, just to like reset your whole attitude about life. So those were the ones that I noticed, because I think because the theme is dream big, you know, and so these beings that try to, you know, make you hopeless, you know, make you feel hopeless and make you feel like, you know, nothing could ever get better in your life. Those beings were really triggered because that's their thing. That's how they, you know, kind of make you give up and disengage from your life. So we don't want that, right? So we could sticky gold net, we could collapse in gold nets to get rid of them, but we can also just have a suspect lineup out in front of you. So all the looming beings that try to make life seem hopeless and life seem like it'll never improve, you know, blah blah blah. You know, the rain on your parade kind of invasive beings. You know, just line all those up. All the bad news beings, all the pessimist beings, and just say, angels, can you recycle all these beings? And then just breathe a little bit while your angels do the work. So again, let's do more of that. We are technically finishing up aura repair right now, but I'm just gonna do that little detour of getting rid of pessimist beings that just sort of try to be really noticeable, but like, you know, make you so negative about your world or your life or the other people. You know, like the whole thing of like, everybody's an asshole, you know, excuse my French. But, you know, all that stuff, you know, beings that really hype up that feeling. So all those pessimist, doom and gloom beings, just line all those up and say, angels, can you recycle all these beings, please? And then just let your angels do the work. Because, you know, yes, life can be challenging. Life can be considerably challenging at times. But if you can't realize that life also has beauty, and life also, like your life potentially, and the world that you live in can also potentially have beauty and miracles and divine assistance and all that. If that's not real for you, then it's possible that you have too many of these doomy gloomy beings just bringing you down, or you just have too much aura damage or chakra damage or something. That could be too, making you feel overly pessimistic. But anyway, so okay, so we got rid of some pessimist beings. I'll just call them pessimist beings. Okay, and that was towards the end of aura repair. But we can do collapsing gold nets also, just to get rid of other random beings, like the ones that are trying to hide and be like, I'm not really here. So big collapsing gold nets, and just collapse in and have them tangle up and catch all the invasive beings, and then just drag all them out. Angels, here you go. All right, so that's good enough. So now let's just finish up the aura repair, because you could have little leaks still, particularly after you remove the hard objects. So just a little extra aura repair, especially around the outer surfaces of your 17 auras. Make sure you don't have any more leaks. And then inside, in your, your chakras, your auras, your body, your astral body, your groundings, just lots of gold light. Mend up anywhere that needs repair. All right, good. So that was aura repair. So plus the extras of getting rid of pessimist beings and scarring and bruising. So now let's do creative ring repair. I take notes because later, within a day, I'll be writing up a detailed healing summary, and I'll put it in the comment section of this when it becomes a video. There'll be a detailed healing summary with timestamp links, so you can hop around and jump right to something or repeat something, whatever you want. So creative rings, they're up here, 1, 2, 3. They are important for focus, definitely. So let's repair them and unblock them. They're one of the 4 essentials, just because they're so significant in how you feel. And yeah. So anyway, there are 3 gold rings, 1, 2, 3. So you just make a copy of those rings out in front of you and repair and unblock the copy and melt away cords going into this copy of your creative rings. So lots of gold light. You could also use like purple earth energy. Don't like run purple energy, earth energy through your whole energy system, because that's too fast moving for your lower chakras. But if you have a copy out in front of you of just your creative rings, then yeah, sure, that's fine. You could bring up purple earth energy and just soak your creative rings in some purple earth energy for fun. And then gold light. And just melt the cords going in to your creative rings. Relax those flaps. You have your creative ring has flaps. Also, chakra openings have flaps. So this is a drawing of the flaps when they are open and irritated. That's what you don't want. So you just get a sense of the flaps, and if they're open, that probably means you still have energy cords going into them, especially at 12 and 6 and 3 and 9 o'clock. So just melt the cords going into your creative ring flaps so that they can relax. When they relax fully, then you won't see the flaps sticking out anymore. It'll be a nice smooth outer surface. And you can go through your other major chakras along your spine, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just be aware of the flaps there too. So you have your creative rings and then your 7 chakras, and just relax those flaps around the outer openings. So chakras, major shape, basic shape is like an open cylinder, like that. So that the flaps that I'm talking about are around the outer surface. So just relax them and melt the cords going into them so that they can fall shut. The flaps can fall shut. So you still have energy, your energy flowing in and out of the round openings, but the flaps are shut, so it's much harder for people to cord you. So you can just, run gold light through your 7th chakra, let that unblock and relax. 6, let that unblock and relax. 5, 4, 3, 2, gold light through your 2nd chakra. Let that unblock and relax. first chakra, the base of your spine. Let that unblock and relax. Melt away cords. So then we can do just a little bit extra with sticky gold wax to unblock your creative rings and all your major chakras. So sticky gold wax, the whole thing, creative rings, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Also, your Kundalini chakra is below the first chakra in the physical body. So you can sticky gold wax that one too. And move out the blocks all at once. Angels, here you go. Again, sticky gold wax creative rings and your 7 major chakras of your astral body, 7 major chakras of your physical body, and the Kundalini chakra beneath the physical first. And just have the wax bond to all that junk you want to get rid of, the cords, the blocks, etc. Move it all out. Angels, here you go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sometimes you can have too much compression like right up against the chakras in the front and the back. So you can just maybe be aware of it like a profile like that and just unblock the right up against the chakras. Unblock that area. Alrighty, so technically that was creative ring repair and unblocking and melting cords, going into your creative rings and relaxing the flaps. But then as part of that, we also unblocked and relaxed all your chakras as well, your major chakras along your spine. And did sticky gold wax. Okay, so then the final of the 4 essentials that I do at the start of all the major healings these days is chakra repair, of course. And we're going to repair all your major and all your minor chakras at the same time. Sometimes if you can't get a chakra, like the flaps, to relax, or you can't get a chakra to unblock, or you can't get rid of cords from it, the chakra is damaged, it has cracks or missing pieces, and so it's not working properly. It can't release properly. Fortunately, chakra repair is easy. So you just make a composite copy, one chakra that represents, and you have it with your intention to represent all your major and minor chakras of your body and spirit. So minor chakras, what are they? Mostly they're acupuncture points of your physical body, like smaller chakras, very important chakras, but they're smaller in size. So I just decided to call them minor chakras, but they're really important and cool. So anyway, your major chakras and your minor chakras, just represent them all with one composite copy chakra that looks like an open cylinder shape, right? And then just repair it and unblock it and melt cords with gold light from your hands. You can have hard objects stuck in the chakras even after all the work we did. So you can just have those hard objects just kind of pop out and blow up as you're working. Or you can use so much gold light that the hard objects just melt away. They just pixelate and go away. And you might have some energy blocks that still aren't going away, so you can just, you know, imagine them and use gold light. And definitely melt the cords going into the chakras with gold light. So that the flaps around the round openings can relax and shut. So energy can pass through, but it's harder for people to cord the sides of the front of the chakras, the sides of the openings. And while we're working on all the chakras, you can think about our theme of dream big and focus as sort of a double theme, and just lift out any energy blocks that trigger when you think about that theme of dreaming big and focusing. What triggers in your chakras, and just lift it out and melt it away, or lift it out and hand it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Or if you're healing yourself, you can lift them out and blow them up. Angels, here you go. But, you know, if you're healing someone else, don't blow up their stuff. Too bossy. So lift out the blocks having to do with dream big and focus. Just lift out those blocks. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Lift them out. Angels, here you go. You can have energy blocks sort of stacked up around the round openings. So you can just comb through those to melt those. Okay, great. So that was chakra repair and unblocking and melting cords to help the theme and just in general. So you can blow up the copy there of your chakras, or give that copy to your angels if you really dislike blowing things up. So that was our 4 essentials: grounding, aura repair, chakra repair, creative ring repair. Not in that order. Grounding, aura repair, creative ring repair, chakra repair. It's not written in stone that that's how you have to repair them in that order, but that's what I like to do in a group healing. Okay, so you can, I said in the intro that part of, you know, sort of breaking down this idea of dreaming big is, can you stay present and flowing as you're thinking to yourself about what do I need, and thinking about what do I want. It's also good to be able to distinguish between the two, you know, because sometimes people need something. I mean, sometimes people want something, but it's like if you think you need it, but you don't really, it's not like an essential, life essential, then you can get a little too stuck about it. So it's good to keep the two in perspective. Like that expression, first world problems, you know, like sometimes, you know, if your basics are taken care of, like say you have your food, you have your shelter, you have your clothing, you have your basics of health, like you can walk, um, you know, you can think reasonably well, you can speak, then, you know, people can get really stuck about some other problem that they have, even though all their basics are taken care of, you know. So it is good to not dramatize things too much, but we'll work on that as part of the exercise. So I said we were going to work on some of this stuff as visualizing a slide, like a playground slide. And so I think we can do it for even these questions too. What do I need and what do I want? So inner reflection, you know, is fifth chakra and fifth layer in part. But when it's something global like that, like you're thinking about what you need or what you want, a lot of chakras and parts of your energy system would affect how that goes, that little contemplation. So you can imagine a slide for what do you need, like your ability to consider all the different levels of what it is that you really need. Um, and so you don't have to imagine it as a slide. You can imagine it as a body of water, as a beach that you're walking on, as a garden, whatever you prefer. But I'm going to do a slide because I think it just shows. I just like it. I don't want to get into why, but anyway. So you imagine, if you want, imagine a playground slide that represents your ability to have conscious awareness of what do you need and think about it. And so can you even get onto that slide, like at the top, so you can slide down it? And maybe it's too triggering to even begin to think about what you really need. And so you're like, you know, near the slide or far away from the slide, and there are energy blocks in the way between you and getting to the slide. But maybe you can get on the slide, but like you can't go anywhere because the whole slide is filled with rocks. And so you can't go down the slide and really have a pleasant contemplation about what it is that you need. So go ahead and just heal your playground slide, representing your ability to consciously contemplate what it is you really need, like consciously, calmly, with your inner wisdom, with hearing your angels, right? So you just imagine the slide that represents your ability to calmly and wisely be aware of what it is you really need, and just be aware of that. What do I need slide, right? And just heal all around it. You know, maybe there's some energy blocks keeping you from going to that slide when you need to. So just heal around the slide. And then maybe the stairs to go up the slide, maybe those are kind of messed up with some people's energy. So just clean off the steps so that you would be able to go up the steps and get on the slide when you want. And the stuff that could be blocking, say, the steps to go up, they could be past life energy, or it could be energy that somebody dumped on your slide. But it doesn't matter. You can just clear it off with gold light, gold fire, gold water. And then you can make your slide like a water slide if you want, or just like a regular slide that doesn't have water flowing on it. But just check it out. Like, is it full of rocks, or would you be able to like go on it and slide all the way down? And if there's anything on your slide blocking it or making it unpleasant, just melt all that away. So just watch, like hypothetical you on your slide. Can you get to your slide? Can you climb up it? Can you sit on it? Can you slide down it? How far down it do you get? And don't get discouraged, like, because this is a process and there could be a lot that you need to clear. And so you can just work on it with your angels over time. The idea is to make incremental progress with it, not to be perfect instantly. And you can say, angels, can you please bless and help me clear all this out? All right, good job. So that was a playground slide as a representation of your ability to think of what you need consciously, with wisdom, with being present, and enjoying the experience. Like, not like it's the most fun thing of your life, maybe, but to be able to feel kind of positive about the thinking about it. And then what do I want? We'll do that one. So imagine a slide that represents your ability to think about what you want. And typically that's what people think of when they think of dreaming and dreaming big. It's like, what do I want? The ability to just think about, what would I want? What would be fun for me? What would be fulfilling for me? What would be enjoyable for me? For breakfast or for the rest of my life, big or small, little time periods. What do I want to do this summer? What do I want to do, in the next decade? So, like I said, that a lot of times is dreaming for people. That's what people mean with dreaming, and that's kind of what I mean too. So anyway, just imagine a playground slide that represents your ability to think about what you would like, what you want, what would be enjoyable for you, what would be fulfilling for you. And just imagine it as a playground slide. And can you get even near the playground slide? Can you take the stairs up the playground slide? Can you sit on top of the playground slide? Can you slide all the way down the playground slide? And just start healing first around the playground slide. Just lots of golden light. Get rid of anybody's energy that might be preventing you from getting on your slide, which represents being able to consciously contemplate with wisdom and presence and flow what you really want. So you're healing and clearing around the slide, and then the steps up it, just get everybody else's energy off those, make them nice and wide steps so they're easy to go up. And then when you're at the top of the slide, is it nice and can you sit there and just relax? And what about the ride down the slide? You can clear stuff out so that you can ride down that slide. And again, the slide represents your ability to dream, the ability to consciously think about what would be fun for you, what would be enjoyable for you, what would be helpful. So just have like a hypothetical you and just see, can you go near the slide? Can you can you climb up the stairs? Can you slide part way down? Can you slide all the way down? And just notice if there are any obstacles in the way and just melt those. And you do want to still have that intention that you want to clear what's healthy and gentle to clear right now. And you can say to angels, can you help me do this? Can you help me clear this so that you know, I can have my dreaming space, my ability to think about what I would like, what would be enjoyable and fun for me. And is there any energy around this slide, this what I want slide, that makes you sort of skip the baby steps? You know, like for example, sometimes you're thinking about what you want, but that's something, but like there's a couple intermediate steps that would be really good that would help you grow and strengthen enough to be able to achieve that step that you really have in mind. So like to be able to realize, you know, because like sometimes it would just be too big of a leap forward. It's just not realistic for you. And so there could be baby steps that would eventually get you to that thing that you consciously are aware of. But you're not aware of your baby steps. You're like fixated on the 20 years from now step, you know? So just look at your slide and around your slide about, you know, thinking about what you want. And if there's any energy that makes you forget about baby steps and incremental growth. And you can just clear it off with lots of gold light, maybe bunch it up. It might be like a fog, and so you could just bunch it up and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Okay, great. So that was the what I want slide, which is could also be considered your dreaming slide. Thinking about what you would like, what would be fun, what would be fulfilling. So the slides that we just did they're like inner reflective about what you need and what you want, but it's like comparing the present with what you don't have too. You know, it's sort of a little bit of a future time thing. You're here now, but you're thinking about something that you need you don't have, or something you need want that you don't have, you know, and you're thinking about it, and to be able to just consider deeply like, oh well, what are the baby steps to get to that, you know, and just think about that. So it's a little bit of like, it's about your journey ahead of you, right? So this next slide I want to do is mostly about here and now, the present moment. So I'm going to call it your present time fun slide. And so it's just like, you know, your present life, your present day, the way you are right now, your energy level, everything just like today is, right? You know, the current job you have, the current number of kids you have, or number of pets you have, or you know, the current weather that's outside, whatever. Can you still have fun despite all that? And you have more fun than you would have otherwise had, right? So that's your present time fun slide. Okay, it's the ability for you to sort of be more lighter and see the sort of playful side of your own day, right? And so that's your present time fun slide. And just take a look at your present time fun slide. Can you get anywhere near your present time fun slide? And if not, look at what's in between this little hypothetical you and your present time fun slide. Maybe it looks like giant rocks or giant walls, and just melt the walls. It doesn't mean that like, you know, like say somebody just passed away that you care about, you know, and you're going to their funeral today. Well, okay, that's not a time to like crack up and laugh a lot, right? Necessarily. But the present time fun slide in that context could be, you know, still having a lighter experience of the funeral that you're going to today, you know, like being more aware of the gratitude and the angels and, you know, the good that that person accomplished in their life. And you know what I mean? Like there's a definitely a glass half full version of even grief and somebody's passing, you know, and it may not be easy to attain that every minute of every day, but with grief, if you're particularly blocked up and particularly hurting about it, generally you've lost your flow. So like your grounding blocked up, the bottom of your auras have blocked up. So just a heads up, little side about grief, little aside about grief, because not every day has to be smiling and laughing, you know. Of course, but anyway, so present time fun slide is good for everybody every day, even if it's not, you know, even if it's like a funeral day, you know, it still can help you have a lighter approach to things, more flowing, healthier approach to things, right? So just imagine your present time fun slide and just clear out the space around it so you could get to it. Clear everybody else's energy around. Maybe it's your baggage from past lives or something. So just melt it all away so you can get to your present time fun slide, and then check out the stairs going up your present time fun slide. Can you walk up them? Just heal those steps. Stairs going up your present time fun slide. And then can you sit at the top of your present time fun slide? Or is it just too blocked up and gross and weird? You could do like collapsing gold nets to clean off your present time fun slide area. Just get rid of all the junk and cheer angels. So collapsing gold nets for that whole area. Get rid of all the junk. Angels, here you go. And just gold light down the slide. Clean out the blocks, whatever junk is on your present time fun slide. Sometimes people have problems handed to them from their parents. And those might be sitting on your present time fun slide. Sometimes the parents do it on purpose. Sometimes it's really accidental. You know, in one case, it's like, you know, maybe your mom had some properties and, you know, you got them in the inheritance, and there are like problems associated with those properties. And so she handed you the energy of those problems as she bequeathed to you the properties, you know, or other people, you know, maybe you didn't inherit property from your parents, but you inherited problems from your parents, right? On a spirit level. So you can just imagine those on your present time fun slide like big rocks, and just pick them off and give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. Pick off the problems that you inherited from your family. Just pick those off the slide, give them to your angels. Sometimes you get those from older siblings. Sometimes you even get them from younger siblings, depending on the type of person each person is, you know. But just imagine any problems on your present time fun slide from other people and just surround those in gold light and give them to your angels. Doesn't mean you can't help people or be a part of like a group project, but that energy from the other person in your space like that is just gonna make it really hard. So you look at your present time fun slide and just look to see, can, little hypothetical, you get to the slide, climb up the stairs, be at the top, and slide all the way down and actually enjoy the ride. And if not, look what's in the way and get rid of it with gold light. And again, especially getting rid of problems from family members, loved ones, partners, ex-partners. Like it could be that you broke up with some guy, you know, or girl. You broke up with a man or woman, and they handed you a bunch of problems. Maybe during the relationship or because you broke up with them, they handed you a bunch of problems. So just, you know, imagine any of your romantic situations from this life or past lives even. Maybe you have junk on your present time fun slide from those people. So just wrap all that in gold light, and you can blow it up or just give it to your angels. Imagine all the junk from even your present partner. You know, people can be dumpy even if they're overall good for you, you know? So just anything that your present partner has dumped on your fun slide or present family members or siblings, just lift all that off. Angels, here you go. You can say, angels, help me clear this area and clear this and bless, please bless my fun slide, my present time fun slide. All right, good job. Woo-hoo. So we cleared energy from so many people, including family members and exes, but just random stuff that was on your present time fun slide too. All right, good job, good job. Woo, 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 woo. You did it. So you can check, you know, just unblock your grounding again. Sometimes parents might try to control their kids' fun slide to be like, well, I need to teach them to pay attention in school, or I need to teach them to, you know, do their homework or eat properly. And so they want to control the kids' fun slide, but a lot of times that backfires. And then the kids just like don't trust them anymore and don't do anything they say. So a different way with that could be to just try to focus on the underlying things that you're trying to teach that kid, like honesty, like focus, like determination, like courage, like being true to yourself, that kind of thing. You know, the value of hard work. Um, and also be aware of their age, because sometimes parents forget and they think, well, like, you know, my 14-year-old should know as much about determination as I do at 40. You know, and sometimes there is really great things that you can teach that 14-year-old about determination and hard work, but sometimes you just have to like sort of model it yourself, and then eventually later in their lives they kind of realize, oh, you know. So so anyway, that could be one reason why maybe your parents wound up on your fun slide and they're still on it because they were trying to teach you underlying things, but they didn't really know how, and so they just decided to punish you a lot and mess up your fun slide. So that's not really healthy, right? So it's okay to clean your parents off your fun slide. And if you want, you can try to learn deeper things from the relationships that you have. You know, learn about honesty, learn about trust, learn about kindness, thoughtfulness, stuff like that. Okay. But it's okay to have fun. Alrighty. I'm going to be quiet for a minute as I look at a sample person to figure out what we're doing next. Okay, so I'm looking at a sample person. It's the mother of a client of mine, and she paid for herself to get these healings plus both her parents this time. And the mom doesn't know what she wants in life. Like she knows what's enjoyable for her, that she's aware of. But it's like she's sort of stopped as far as like going forward on her path because she's waiting for something like deeper, like some meaning of life kind of feeling that she feels like she should have, and she doesn't have it. And so she's like, well, I don't know what the point of all this is. You know, like she could do stuff that's fun today. Like what seems fun for you today? Like that she could do, but she just feels like there's something deeper that's missing, some knowledge and, you know, sense of like her own purpose and her own path. So she's just stopping and waiting for it. But what she that's how she feels, like she's missing something internal to her that's important as far as purpose and meaning. But the reason she feels that way is actually that she has stuff extra that doesn't belong to her, and that's blocking basically seventh and fourth from doing their jobs properly and giving her just that sense of determination and excitement and enthusiasm and deeper meaning. So she actually has extra stuff that's making her feel like she doesn't have what she needs, you know. And what she has extra is, it's like, it looks like hard black rocks, like pieces of coal, you know, like from a fire, pieces of coal from her mom that she got when she was growing up. She got it when she was like 3 years old, 2 and 3 years old, from her mom. And she took on copies of her mom's pain. It was like her mom was very attentive to her when she was a newborn and when she was like 1 year old, but then, you know, something happened with her mom and she just wasn't as attentive and she was much more triggered. And the mom, you know, the mom of the client's mom. And so as a 2-year-old, she was like trying to figure out her mom, you know, and fix her so that she could get that same level of love and attentiveness that she had been getting. And so that's part of how kids accidentally sponge up what's wrong with their parents, because they want to like figure out their parents. So anyway, if we get rid of that inner gross stuff that you accidentally sponged up at some point in this life or past life, then your 7th and your 4th can do their jobs better and just give you that sense of like forward momentum and desire to move forward and desire to engage in your life, and a sense of like that, you know, like a positive connection with the underlying meaning of things. You know, you don't have to have like a detailed conscious knowledge of the meaning of your life or the purpose of your life, but that deeper sense of like, this is something good, you know. that really comes in handy. So anyway, so I guess we could call that dream killing junk that she took on, my client's mom took on from her mom when she was a kid. So dream killing junk, you know, and it could look like lumps of coal, you know, within some of your chakras, just like dream killing junk. It just makes you feel like you're missing something so important and you just can't go on without whatever you're missing, right? So let's get rid of the dream killing junk. So that was explaining dream killing junk. With an example. So now we will do getting rid of dream killing junk. Okay, good. So double check your grounding, big wide grounding, red, orange, or yellow. Bring it up high as your 3rd chakra, where your sternum bone ends. And unblock your grounding, lots of gold light. Make a copy of your grounding out in front of you. Keep it going, especially in the back and the core center part. Those are the most common places to block up. Make sure your grounding is nice and wide. Wide, wide, wide. Okay, good. So that was just a little regrounding. And then for like less than a minute. So now we will do getting rid of dream killing junk. Typically that you got from other people, but it could have been in a past life. And a lot of times it is during, formative years when you're a kid, like, 5 years and younger, that kind of thing. But it can be when you're a teenager or when you're, in your first relationship or who knows, whatever key time. So dream killing junk, you can imagine it within you, just like hard, gross stones, and just surround them in gold light, surround all your hard, gross stones with gold light, and then just use the gold and then gold from your hands to kind of lift them all out, right? And then you can blow them up if you want, or you can just hand them directly to your angels. Angels, here you go. You can also just imagine copies of your dream killing junk out in front of you. So a lot of big black rocks probably, but you can imagine them as other things too if you want. And just, you can bring up red earth energy and soak your dream killing junk in red earth energy, and then lots of gold light and melt cords going into all of them with gold light, and just melt them down with gold light. Again, you're melting away your dream killing junk that is within you. Ah. Ah. So another thing, so that was, getting rid of dream killing junk. But when I look at that sample version, okay, so she got rid of a lot of dream killing junk, but she still, that feeling of like when she was 2 and 3, her mom focusing a lot less on her, being a lot less attentive and nurturing with her, she still feels like bad about that. She feels guilty. She feels like it was her fault. She's confused, right? So let's do some little healings of those parts of you. So we'll heal mini yous, mini versions of you, right? It could be inner child parts of you. In the case of that person, that's what it is. But it could be, after a certain divorce, someone gets stuck in the guilt or the sadness or the confusion, right? And so just imagine all these mini yous that are in the way of you, just enjoying thinking about what you would like and what would be fun in life, right? What are your dream killing little parts of you, right? Dream killed parts of you, right? So just imagine the dream killed parts of you that can't dream, and just give them a healing. Just be like, hey, it's okay. It's time for a healing. You didn't do anything wrong, I promise. It's all right. It's okay. You can say, angels, please help me heal these parts of me. So, and once those parts are all healed, the energy just kind of pixelates, and those parts of you dissolve, and you get the energy back, that all healed up. And so you may have just like 2 or 3 parts left that are still in that sort of dream killed state of sadness or confusion or anger or something. So just heal those parts of you until they dissolve and come back to you as just nice, happy, content, present time energy. So we're going to do that again. So again, we're going to look for parts of you, little parts of you, most likely stuck in the past, that are dream killed. They can't dream. It's like turned off. They have too much anger or too much sadness or too much regret or too much guilt or whatever, right? Too much shame, blah, blah, blah. So all the dream killed parts of you, right? That just can't dream. They're too stuck, too harmed, too hurt, right? And so just imagine those parts of you that are healthy and gentle to heal right now. And just use lots of gold light and heal these parts of you, the dream killed parts of you. And just say, angels, help me heal these parts of me. You can say supportive things, like, hey, it's okay. It's all right. It's time to heal. It's okay. And if you have some parts of you that still haven't healed, just say, angels, can you help me heal these parts? And just, be aware that, growth is incremental. So there's a healthy and gentle level that you can heal right now. And you can just say to yourself, hey, I'm going to let my angels keep helping me with this if you want. So that was healing mini yous, like little versions of you that are typically stuck in the past, but not necessarily. But parts of you that are stuck and can't dream, can't think about what you would like, what you would enjoy, because of some trauma that you're stuck in, and we healed those parts of you. Good job, good job, good job. All right. Okay, so then we're almost done. I talked a lot in the intro about clearing blocks. And I think we probably did a lot of that already, by doing the slide work and then this whole healing the mini yous. But I mentioned that, blocks could make you feel on edge, they could make you feel jumpy, they could make you avoidant, they could make you feel anxious, give you sleep problems, make you kind of ragey in your own thoughts, make you paralyzed and inactive so you can't take action, make you like less likely to do healthy behaviors like drinking enough water, like stretching, like walking, like exercising. You could have just energy blocks in the way, and when those trigger, you just back away and don't do that action, right? That even though that action would be healthy and helpful for you and you would like to do it. So let's clear those blocks, right? So you can just make big piles out in front of you. And if you have a pet issue, that's good too. Like say you really, really want to work out and you haven't, and just make a big pile about all the blocks in the way of you working out. But also do general ones too, like just these are all the blocks that would be really good for, I would lead a more healthy and productive life. I'd be more balanced. I could think about what I want in life, and take my baby steps. If I could clear these blocks, it would just be so much easier, right? So just imagine my life would be easier if I cleared these blocks, right? And just melt them away. Lots of gold light, and just melt the blocks in these piles. And you can have a whole pile for energy blocks that give you sleep weirdness, like sleep disturbances. So a lot of energy blocks for that, or weird dreams, like sometimes people are like, oh, I have these dreams, I'm fighting with a whole bunch of people in my family. A lot of times you could actually be fighting on the astral with those people in your family, but you can ask your angels, and make sure you let your angels help and guide you in your sleep, so you're not going and arguing with people in your sleep. You're just doing positive things in your sleep. But you may still have pent up anger and conflict in your body, and that's what makes those body dreams, about fighting with people. So just put all those fighting, you know, the ones that give any energy blocks giving you weird dreams or sleep problems, just put them out in front of you and melt them away. And it may take, you know, a couple of days of, you know, keep doing this. But, you know, any blocks that are making you really procrastinate on your work or procrastinate about having fun. You know, like, oh, I'll have fun when my kids are all grown, you know, but not until then. You know, or just any blocks that make you less healthy, less functional, less productive, less focused. You can make a whole pile of energy blocks that are messing with your focus, and just work on melting those. And when you clear it, just make a new pile and clear that. Again, any energy blocks in the way of you having focus. All right, good. So that was quick, but productive. So that was 4 minutes of clearing blocks. Well, maybe even 3 minutes because I explained it at first. So let's just, we'll wrap up in the next couple minutes. So just check, comb through your whole aura. Oh, redo your gold buffer zones. I didn't even mention that earlier. Gold buffer zones. There will be a reference video on those. They help slow the rate of aura damage if you keep recreating them. Gold buffer zones. But then just comb through all your auras, do some unblocking with the gold light, especially right up against your chakras, along your spine. And your grounding, unblock your grounding. And then a little bit of chakra alignment. Skull light up and down your spine, up and through your major chakras. And magnetic, the magnetic fields around each chakra, just use gold light and align those so they click together. And they're centered around each chakra. So you just do like a really wide band of gold light up and down through your major chakras along your spine. All right, so that was gold buffer zones and some aura unblocking and some chakra alignment really quickly. All right, so redo your grounding, red or orange or yellow. Double check that flow, especially in the back. If you feel moody after a healing, chances are you're grounding blocked. If you feel really moody, somebody probably whacked you. So you can redo your 4 essentials. But if you just feel like sort of normal moody, then unblock your grounding so that your releasing can keep going and then you don't feel what you're trying to release. It just goes. All right, so you can just say, angels, can you give me a healing? Help me wrap up. All right, that's the healing. Good job. You're amazing. Woo, 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 woo. All right. So I said I was going to be more disciplined than I have been recently with my timing. So that means I hate to say it, but I will not probably get to everybody's question. If I don't get to your question or I don't get to all aspects of your question that you were interested in, feel free to repost the parts that were unanswered under this video or some other video, and I will post a reply when I have time. All right. Catching up on comments. Someone says hello from Arizona. Hello to you. Hello from California. Hello to you. Welcome, welcome. Someone says an old flame reached out to me recently and asked me on a date, should I be wary of this or embrace it and have fun? Appetizer man, his name is, and you mentioned. Well, I'm not going to answer it because I want you to practice, like using your intuition, using your clairvoyance, listening to your angels. But that's the question, is sort of, there's timing. Is it the right time? Is he even worth your time? If it was the right time for a relationship, and is he appetizer man versus entree man? But there's if you're single, there could still be, maybe you're going through some stuff, and so it's not time for anybody. Or it could be time for the right person, but he's just not the right person. He's not even an appetizer man. He's a waste of time man. So that's sort of the thing. You can take your time and, clear energy blocks so that you have more accurate intuition about it. You can, have your angels show you and try to, have like a simple game between you and your angels so you get clarity on that. But just, take your time, keep clearing energy so you have more clarity about your love life and what you need right now. But yeah. So I will, it's good practice for you. So if you have questions about it after you've been working it for a while, like if you do it to a point and then you get stuck or something, then you could post again at some point under a video. But yeah, that's what I would say. Someone says, thank you for healing me. Yesterday, I was irritated with not wanting to go to my youngest sister party that is coming up in March. My mom called me yesterday to ask if I will be getting cake. I will be. I am dragging to go and unable to make a good excuse, not cause conflict or hurt my sister's feelings. May I please have angel advice on what I need to heal? Am I in an inner child tantrum? Well, I mean, there's your mom, there's your sister, there's siblings, there's what you want, there's what would be helpful for you in your growth. There's a lot there. So sometimes anger and frustration is a sign, but sometimes it's just a sign like that your mom jumped in your space, not a sign that you don't actually want to go to the party. Or it's, maybe it's a sign that, you have boundary problems with your sister, but it may not be a sign that your angels don't want you to go to the party, or, maybe all of the above. So, just keep clearing, and you can even make a garden, that represents your ability to just have a calm, peaceful, inner reflective space where you think about these issues and you think about what's right for you and what decision is good for you to make in, the big picture. And, get everybody out of that garden so that you really just have a reflective space about it. Because especially with family events, people can be very manipulative. They can dump expectations in your space, they can core, they can do all sorts of things because it triggers all sorts of past life things for them, and, people get really bent out of shape about family members, potentially. Not always, but many times. Just because they have old baggage. So, of course, you might have old baggage around different families you've been a part of, not even this one, so just take your time, keep clearing, heal inner wounds that get triggered about this issue, clear baggage that gets triggered around this issue, energy blocks, just like we did towards the end. But the idea is you want more and more clarity, and you want more and more just flow and presence about it. And because ideally you'd have more and more peace and wisdom and boundaries so that you can figure out what's best for you. When you're just, everyone's in your space and it's a big tug of war, it's really hard to know like what exactly is pissing you off and like to interpret, what you want, because you're just in the middle of a big tug of war, a big, mudslinging fest about it. So step one is to get rid of the mudslinging fest part of it. So I hope that helps. Someone says, thanks for the healing, Jana. I feel lighter. My new job involves a lot of math, which freaks me out a lot as I am not great at math and immediately brings me back to childhood. Would child healing help? Would inner child healing help? I mean, for most people, yes. But I think for you, I think it's more, it wouldn't have to be a child part of you. Sometimes you have parts of you that overthink, and let me fix my camera. That overthink and overanalyze and like that really just want to get to your ideal job. And so those parts of you are like, math, really? Ugh, why am I even here? What am I doing? This isn't the job I should have right now. Like there are parts of you that are sort of anti-baby step, and want like your ultimate job today by noon. And so you could look at that. You could look at too, like maybe one of your parents is in your space about it. That's always a possibility. But yeah, it looks like you could look at it like a river, and the river of, if the river's flowing, that means you're just able to do your best with the math that's in your current job. And if the river is not flowing, you can just fix it. Look at what's in there that's blocking it up. And as you clear it out, you could intuit who it is or what it is, but you don't have to think about it too much. But yeah, so it could be parts of you, but not necessarily childhood parts. I mean, I know that you had trouble in childhood with math, but I think you have done a lot of inner child healing already. So it seems to be those other parts of you that are in the way. Someone says, hello, I feel good today. Oh, that's good to know. Thank you for the healing today. I'm going to focus on the slide in the playground and on melting distortion blocks. Yeah, distortion blocks, which we did 2 days ago in that healing. We did distortion blocks in the way of you hearing people accurately. Hearing your body accurately, hearing your angels accurately, hearing other people accurately. Yeah, and you can focus on energy blocks that cause you to be reactive, like instantly reactive to telepathy from others. Because other people can be like sending you sort of argumentative telepathy, but you don't have to argue back. You don't have to let it trigger your anger and stuff. Like there could be energy blocks that are making your mind lock into reacting to telepathy. So what are those energy blocks that cause you to, instantly, like mentally, like fight with somebody in your mind just because they're sending you, triggering telepathy? Because people can send triggering telepathy nonstop 24/7. I mean, sometimes people just do not get over it for like months. So you don't want, I mean, some people, like some clients of mine, they'll have a relative that's like constantly, like more often than not, sending them like really triggering, angry telepathy. And, is it in that person's path to ever get over that in this life? It's like 8% likelihood. It's possible, but not super possible just because that person is not really trying. They're very they're liking the drama, in a subconscious way. They like believing that it's everyone else's fault. That's, in a way, it's very liberating. I mean, your life sucks then, but there is a way in which people can get sort of addicted to that feeling that, it's everyone else's fault. And if everyone just wasn't a big jerk, they would be fine. So you may have people like that in your life. And so just clear the blocks so that they can rage on and you can just be more and more peaceful. The more they rage, the more peaceful you are. The more they're like freaking out and blaming everything on you or blaming everything on everybody, the more you just feel your breath and think of calm flowing rivers and happy trees and nice birds and flowers, So yeah, you can clear blocks so that you can, you don't have to react. You don't have to let other people's freak out set your tone. Those are energy blocks that can make it hard for you to set your own vibe. And you can clear those blocks. Okay. Someone says, hi, Janet. The slide exercise was fun. Oh, that's good to know. My daughter, you mentioning her name and age, thank you, has some anxiety, and I'm worried about her transition into kindergarten. But how can I stop being invasive and worrying about next September? Well, okay. What I would say, just to put it into context, even little kids, they've had pretty much usually as many past lives as you've had, right? So just to put that into context, clearing fear is a great thing, for you to do as an adult and for your kids to do. But, just so you get a sense, you can get a sense of, okay, well, how many past lives, how many recent past lives, particularly like, okay, your daughter is female. I mean, I know sometimes people can have non-gendered lifetimes where they don't really think of themselves as male or female. But unless that's the case, sometimes there are specific things that get triggered when that person is in a female body, genetically female body, versus sometimes when that person is in a genetically male body. There are other things that might get triggered because there are some sort of stereotypical cultural expectations for one gender over the other and cultural roles for one gender versus the other. So you can look at, okay, with your daughter, how many recent past lives did she have where she had significant issues with fear? Was it just in her childhood? Was it the whole life? Is it typically only in the childhood for her? And is it typically only when she has female lifetimes that she has issues with fear? Just so you can have some context, and it's not all about like, oh my God, I need to make my child the most courageous thing possible by September. Because if we're talking like 8 lifetimes, you might need to chill out about that. Just, yes, help her clear fear. Yes, help her have earth energy and get more in her legs, but understand that it's a little bit more long-term project than maybe you initially had hoped, So just for context. But, just like with an adult, legs are important, so leg stretching, you could do leg stretching with your kid. Grounding is important. So you could talk to them about being a big, strong tree and having big, strong roots and flowing roots, and you could, there's all sorts of things that, help an adult that would also help a kid if you can just make it playful and simple enough. Tricolor Earth Energy Soak is that kind of thing too. That video is like 5 minutes and it's such a simple concept. So anyway, yeah, I think just some perspective, you're fairly advanced, so it wouldn't be that hard for you, at least over time, to get more clarity on the context of her past lives and how many lives has she had with this fear issue and, and all that, because it could be part of your path as her mom to help her with that. But again, some things are bigger than one summer, or one couple months. All right. So it says, thank you, Janet. I've always been a dreamer, but I feel that my practical dreams are too hard to achieve. Is it a slide or a dream killed issue? Yeah. Can it be both? That would be my choice. See all the above. Yeah, I would say it's both. So you can work it both ways. You can have a practical dream slide and see, just to highlight the specific types of dreams where you really train wreck. But then also the dream killing objects that specifically make you feel like you can never attain your practical goals. But yeah, I would keep doing both. Just over time, because you got to be good to your body and do stretching and, eat your protein, all that stuff. Someone says, thanks, Janet. Today I've been feeling... Also, actually, for that last person I was talking to about practical dreams, you can look at how many past lives you've had issues with practical dreams. you know, and has it been just recent female lives? Has it been all recent lives? No recent lives, it's just unique to this life. Just for a little context. There's no detailed reading needed. It's just, you know, sometimes that's nice too, so you can get a sense of, you know, because sometimes people, you know, with this stuff, sometimes you can clear an issue like within a week of energy clearing and you don't have the issue anymore, right? But sometimes, you know, if you've had it for like 8 lives and, you know, it represents deeper things, you know, it takes longer to make as much progress as you want, you know, so that context might be interesting for you. So it says, thanks, Janet. Today I've been feeling pretty blocked up in my heart and lower back area. Clearing the bottom of auras and grounding didn't help much with release. It's still the same. What's wrong? So yeah, so I had mentioned about sometimes you're not like your family members and they're different than you, and that may trigger loneliness within you because they're not like you, and then you may try to court them even though like you might think that they're being invasive, but you're also being invasive, you know? So just imagine like you're a ship and they're ships, and just look at the direction that you would naturally go with your ship and the direction that these other people that are, you know, always in your daily life, what's the natural direction for their ships to go? And just clear blocks so that, especially heart chakra blocks, that keep gold light going into your heart chakra so that you can let, you know, their ships go in their directions and you can just feel good and feel okay, you know, and keep working your indie grounding. So, because I think you're linking up to these family members because you want them to go your direction because you're lonely, you know, and you could find other people, you know, other like a volunteer job or something where, or just, I think just healing your heart chakra too would go a lot way towards that, so that you don't feel that need to make them like you on a vibrational level. Because sometimes you have family members that aren't like you at all, you know, and that's okay, but you have to heal heart chakra blocks, otherwise you'll feel lonely and then you'll try to mush them into your way of doing things. So I would just say more heart chakra healing, bottom line. And just look at their ships and look at your ship and don't make their ships go in the same direction your ship is going. Hope that helps. Someone says, hi, Janet, thank you for this. I healed along today and you healed me. Yes. And I feel guilty about the breakup. Feel it was right though. Yes. Any advice on what to dream big about in my future dream partner? Okay. So guilt could be old energy blocks. Guilt could also be that the guy drove a big axe into your heart chakra and it's still there, which is the case. So yeah, he's not being particularly gentle right now. And you know, the irony of it is he was being kind of, you know, not so gentle before, which is why you dumped him. You know, like in certain key ways, it was like, really? So you dumped him. And then now that side of him is really coming out on a spirit level, and he's, you know, he's got like an axe into part of your 7th chakra that you mostly got out with the healing and the self-healing, but it's like still right there. And then you got one like you got a couple like right here that are like, they're mostly out of your 4th chakra, but 2 of them are still in a little bit, and then they're all here because they got shoved, but they're still there. So like he has this, I don't know if it's a past life thing, but people have different like styles. Some people use swords, some people use spears when they throw objects. Totally bad karma to do any of it, by the way, so I'm not recommending any of it. But if you find somebody doing it, typically they'll have these habits, and so it might be amusing to notice. So he's a big like axe hand. He's got, you know, the straight part, and then there's like an axe blade, and that's what he's doing. He's throwing axes at you. So I would just say, get more of the axes out of the way, because I don't think any of that is actual guilt that you have. I think it's just, you know, stuff stuck in your space. But anyway, any advice on what to dream big about in my future dream partner? Yeah, I don't think it's a problem. You know, I think that, you know, that unwrapping stuff, that was nice. You could do more of that. That was from the last twin set the January twin set. We heal, it was like a way of clearing where you clear things that were wrapped in reverence. And I think some of that's from this life, some of that's from past lives, but I think the more you clear that type of thing, then it can reorient you to like what's healthiest for you in a relationship. I mean, you already kind of know what you need in a relationship, but it looks like there's all this stuff in the way of you manifesting it. So, unhealthy wrapped stuff is what I called it, I think, in the summary. It was on Tuesday, January 17th, 2023, healing 2 of 2. So it'll say in the title, healing 2. Unhealthy wrapped stuff may or may not be in the title just because the titles are so short. It's hard to fit them all in. But, yeah, so there's that. So yeah, you could keep doing that. But, you know, get rid of the axe handles. That's most of it. So I hope that helps. Someone says, I healed myself. Yes, I have trouble and confusion seeing what my purpose in life is. Can you see what my purpose is or tell me what I need to clear in order to see it more clearly? Thanks. Yeah, so I'm not a big, like, you know, having a mission statement for your life type person. Like, I feel like if you're flowing and you feel good and you're present, and when you look at your path, you're moving forward on it, then you'll be doing what you're meant to do, whether or not you can boil it down to like a pretty sentence or not, you know? So there's that. But I mean, I think that technique that we did, two of the things we did today could really be nice for that. The want slide, you know, the what do I want slide, you know, look at that. Like what the slide that represents your ability to contemplate, you know, what's fun for me, what's fulfilling for me, what's enjoyable for me, and look at that slide. Can you get anywhere near it? Can you go up it? Can you ride down it? Like what's in the way? So work that, the what do I want slide, but also the dream killing junk, like keep getting that out of you. We did that. We, you know, got rid of the dream killing junk within you. I think there's a bunch of that, mostly from past lives, actually. Yeah, so those two things would be nice. As far as your 4 essentials, your creative rings are okay. Your chakras, major and minor, are okay. Your aura repair could use work. Like you have, there are sort of like tunnels dug out around behind you around the 4th chakra and in front of you around the 4th chakra. Everything else is pretty good as far as aura repair, but like right here and right here. So just, you can just specifically do that area. Just put lots of gold fire and just have it go in those tunnels, you know, because you shouldn't have like dug out parts of your auras, because your 4th chakra helps you feel motivated and happy and positive and you know, enthusiastic. So just you need like flowy aura all around that rather than like missing leakiness, you know. So just keep doing gold light all around. I call those like 4th chakra rivers, but really it's even from the edge of your aura, there's like these big just holes that go in. So just keep working that, like aura repair around your 4th chakra, astral and physical. And then the what do I want slide and the getting rid of dream killing junk within you. Yeah. But hopefully you can feel the progress that you have been making with this kind of work, because you are way more present than you have been. You're actually in 7 through 2 right now. So at this moment, you're pretty present. So good job healing yourself. Someone says, do my angels have any advice on whether I've learned everything I can from my current relationship? I feel like I'm avoiding the breakup, but want to make sure I learn everything I need to. Yeah, so I mentioned to somebody else recently, like, because their angels were talking about it. If, say you want to break up with somebody, or say you at least know that that's going to be happening, right? Maybe not today, maybe that's not the right time, but at some point it will be the right time to break up with this person. um, you can work with the angels and that person on the astral so that they know astrally and they can get ready for it astrally in their sleep. Because people that don't meditate, that don't, do live streams of mine and stuff, they are not great at being present when they're awake, probably, most typically. And so the biggest opportunity they have to heal and clear energy and process and get ready for big changes is in their sleep, working with their angels. So, like, say, hypothetically, that March would be a really good time for you to break up. Like, you feel like, okay, I think I have more learning during February, plus it's Valentine's Day, that would be too weird. Maybe, say hypothetically, you're like, okay, March breakup, that's good, I can deal with that. So early March breakup, second half of March, enjoy spring coming and get over it. So say that's your timeline, then it's nice to give that person who doesn't meditate, who doesn't do energy clearing, doesn't know about chakras or anything, give them time to process, like talk to them on the astral, because there are levels, astral levels, where they're not going to remember consciously, but they're going to start getting ready, and so you can have your angels set up a meeting like with that person. And this is true too in a workplace. If you're going to fire somebody and you're not going to do it like today, but it's going to happen, you can help them to prepare for it on the astral, so that way they're not so freaked out about it when it actually happens, which can be more compassionate to them, but it's also even smarter for you, because then once they've processed better, they're less likely to whack you as hard. They may just whack you for an hour, but that's it, or not at all, or you know what I mean? It's just, so anyway, so if you know it's going to happen, you just don't know when and whatever, you can start preparing for it in your sleep, you personally, but also help that person to prepare for it on the astral. And that's just with your intention, just kind of say, angels, can you help me talk to him on the astral and help me get him started processing all that. So I hope that helps. But yeah, that way, and if there's any finished up learning stuff, you can just work on it in your sleep with your angels, just to make sure that your timing is accurate and your timing is optimal. I mean, I think you're pretty much on that route already, so, but you can just, the one thing I mentioned to the other lady just a couple questions ago about, it was healing 2 of 2 in the January one, and the January twin set, from Tuesday, January 17th, 2023. It was that unhealthy wrapped stuff. That would be nice. You could keep doing that around love life, around breakups, around, finances, all your sort of hot button things. Just keep clearing unhealthy wrapped stuff, like that you wrapped with reverence, from some past life, and just keep, healing getting rid of the inside stuff and healing away the wrappings. And anyway, I'll link below the unhealthy wrapped stuff, just because I've mentioned it a million times. I'll link that below later in the comment section under the healing summary. So it says, thank you for the healing, Janet. I will find out the survey on how Fam and I feel tomorrow. Okay. Someone says, thank you, Janet. I feel peppy and inspired. Oh, nice. Good to know. Someone says, how did my son do? What is blocking me / him? How to heal the relationship? Well, yeah, I think what the angels are reminding me of is that what I was talking to the other person about, sometimes you can have relatives that are not at all anything like you. And because they're relatives, you feel like you want to help them, you want to be happy with them, you want them happy with you. And sometimes, the first step in having the best experience you can have is just to acknowledge how different you both are, and what you want and believe and think might be very different than what this person wants and believes and thinks. So you can imagine it like a ship, and which direction does your ship naturally go, and which direction does their ship naturally go. And that can be kind of eye-opening, you know, because when you love somebody, you kind of want their ship to be going in the same direction as yours. But especially when it's a genetic family member, that may not at all be the case. You know, like your ship might naturally go this way and his ship might naturally go that way. So there's that, you know, because sometimes then you're trying to move their ship and then they get furious with you because it's a very deep, it feels very violating. And you're thinking like, I'm not doing anything wrong to this person. Like, what's their problem? You know? So just let their ships, you know, watch your ship and watch everybody else's ship that you care about, and what's the natural direction of their ship, you know? And then just try to heal your heart chakra so that you understand, hey, you know, I may need some people that are similar to me that kind of get me and understand me and appreciate me, but it may not be these people. You know, it doesn't mean that those people don't exist on the planet that could understand you and appreciate you, but it may not be these people. You know, so first I would say look at the ship directions and keep healing your heart chakra so that you understand that you are worthy of love, you are worthy of kindness and support and understanding. But, you know, you can get a more realistic sense of if those people are able to give you what you need or not. Because it's possible that even though they're genetically related to you, they're not at all able to meet your needs. And sometimes that's on purpose, that you have a lifetime with genetic relatives that cannot at all meet your needs ever, 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 ever in a million, trillion years. And it forces you to heal your heart chakra and your seventh chakra and have your own sense of unique identity, your own sense of self-love, and, you know, move forward in the world anyway and find, you know, commonality and understanding and joy through interaction with different people. So yeah, so there's no simple fix at all. I would just say watch the ships and try to think about that. And try to keep healing your heart chakra and keep, you know, validating for yourself that you are lovable, you are worthy of love, kindness, understanding, and support. You know, you can even say that as an affirmation every day, you know, just to keep your ship going the way you need to go, and just let their ships go the way they're going to go. Because you can't change people in that sort of a fundamental way. It's good to just observe the reality of the situation and learn from it. So I hope that makes sense. Someone says, thanks, Janet, about the math. Makes sense. I procrastinate a lot and think this ties into that. We'll do the river technique. Oh, good. And then the person from before says, how can I stop wasting time and getting things done? You're mentioning your name. Yeah, so I think part of it is that ship stuff. You're trying to control everybody else's ship, and then they're trying to control your ship. So just focus on your ship, only your ship. You know, think of be aware of their ships so that you can remind yourself, that ship is not me, this ship is me. You know, like ship, as in a ship in the water, you know, a big boat. And just be your own boat, and just think of like, okay, I'm going to heal only my boat, you know, and call your energy back from everybody else's ship, because you're trying to rope everybody's boats in to be like this, you know, this beautiful little togetherness thing. But that's, I mean, they're not like little ducks to follow behind you. You know, they're individual people that have had completely different past lives. They're completely different spiritual ages. And, you know, you can waste all your energy trying to change people, or you can have a life. You can't do both. So I hope that helps. Someone says, feeling much more peaceful today. Thank you, Janet. Oh, good. Someone says, P.S. I'm feeling way better today. Oh, good. Someone says, hi, Janet. Thanks for the healing. What can I do to improve my chronic insomnia? I'm sleeping a bit. Oh, and thank you, you guys, for talking about your sleep problems on the surveys. That's very fascinating and helpful. You know, like the facts of it, like, oh, I sleep at 8 o'clock for 3 hours, and then I wake up and I can't go back to sleep till 3 a.m. You know, and then I sleep for 3 hours, you know, that's like so concrete. It's much easier for me to read what's going on versus like, I have sleep problems. You know, that's like a little too vague, you know, it takes me too long to read that. Um, but anyway, okay, so you're saying, how can I improve my chronic insomnia? I'm sleeping a bit better these past 2 months, but I'd like to sleep better. Yeah, so in your survey, if you would, the one that you fill out on Monday, give a little more detail, like how in the last few days, can you get to sleep? What time do you try to go to sleep? How long do you sleep? Are you in bed for 2 hours and you can't even get to sleep, but then you sleep through the night? Do you wake up? Like just line it. You don't have to write a big book about it, but just give the details. So, because it's easier to read. But I would say basically it boils down to energy blocks. And boundaries with your family members. So if people are courting energy blocks, it makes you jumpy. And typically, especially I would say layers 3, 2, 1, because they're more like body chakras. I mean, your body has all 7 chakras, but third chakra, second chakra, and first chakra probably are the most likely to like rev your body up into a restlessness that really gets in the way of sleep. So chakras 3, 2, 1, and aura layers 3, 2, 1, right up against your skin. So energy blocks in any of there, but you don't have to know where they are. You can just line up the energy blocks that are keeping you awake. Chances are people are courting them, sometimes beings. So you can say, angels, can you recycle any beings messing with these energy blocks? And then just blow up the blocks and just keep blowing up blocks that are in the way of you, getting to sleep and continuing to sleep as long as you need. So yeah, it's mostly energy blocks. Someone says, hi, Janet. And you're mentioning your initials. Thank you. Thanks for the healing. Am I better at connecting with my emotions? What more can I do? I think what would be interesting is looking at your own, like sometimes we've done like emotional garden where you imagine a garden that represents all your emotions, conscious and subconscious, and you heal the garden. And then what you could do is also look at, but don't interfere with, emotional gardens of your family members. So like your dad's emotional garden, now your dad's emotional garden when he was raising you, your mom's emotional garden now when she was raising you, like any siblings' emotional gardens, and see if you can notice patterns in them. Because sometimes, like say part of your dad's garden is totally walled off, and that same part in your garden is totally walled off as well. And so it might just be easier to notice it and melt it away in your garden if you notice, oh, wow, my dad did that too. Stuff like that. So I hope that helps. But yeah, I would say do it in emotional garden and look for family patterns. And just clear yours. Don't heal your whole family. Someone says, OMG, I have had an axe in my heart chakras. Any idea who threw it long ago? Advice on what to dream big about. Well, I'm glad you noticed that. That's awesome. Well, I think that's fun to know. I mean, I'll read it now, but in the future, I would encourage you to do that. Like just be like, okay, did I have, you can look at like, okay, when I was 10, was this axe still here? When I was 5, was this axe still here? When I was 40, or you know what I mean? Like just imagine like little you at 2 years old. Did you have an axe? Did you not have an axe? And you go, okay, me when I was 10, did I have the axe or not? For you, it looks like childhood, years when you got that axe. And it looks like you have some more in different parts of your auras. So yeah, that could be, you can go axe hunting, look for all your axes. But yeah, and you can sort of use your intuition, is this axe from a family member? Yes, no, or relative? Yes, no. But yeah, you have a pretty rough bunch of relatives, so anything's possible. But yeah, get rid of your axes, especially around your 4th chakra, in front or back, or your 4th layer too. Any advice on what to dream big about? I think it's, I don't think you have to worry about what to dream big about. I think if you can, if you can keep working on letting go of your loved ones, like letting go, they're different ships than you. They may not think like you, they may not act like you, they may not believe the same things you believe, you know, because you're using so much energy trying to change them that you have no energy left for yourself. Um, and I think your spirit is just thinking, well, that's okay because I'm helping them. I'm supposed to rescue them. I'm supposed to make up for past years, blah 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 blah. You're justifying it. But I mean, you may as well just, it's like setting money on fire, you know, like it's just wasting energy. You can't make somebody categorically different than they are, you know, no matter how much you want it. So I would just say keep focusing on, it's like if your energy was money, stop giving away money, you know? Like, I mean, I give to charity, don't get me wrong, but I only give to charity to the point that I can, you know? And you are like, you know, giving away your last dollar to people that, you know, I mean, it's just you doing depleting things on a spirit level. So just try to respect that different people are different. And just the more you do that, I think you'll kind of come back to life. It's just that you had this dream that you could fix everybody. And that's like sort of a wounded inner child wish. It's not true. It's not realistic. You know, so just heal that little girl part of you that wants to make everyone around you completely happy and completely kind and completely respectful. Because, you know, she needs healing. You know, she could imagine little girl parts of you and just heal those little girl parts of you. Okay, someone says, may I ask about career? I feel like I'm closer to knowing. I think there's two. One to go with sculpture, installation, design to some extent, and the other more normal, but uses my creative skills. I would like to take more steps to push this along. Well, I would just say the specifics will come when you're ready. So you could focus on what do you need to clear or heal or experience out in the world to help you along that path of, you know, making progress in your career world, you know? So, you know, keep clearing energy blocks in the way of you, you know, figuring out and manifesting the best career for you. Keep healing wounds, inner wounds in the way of you, you know, moving forward with your career space. And also, you know, there's that whole stepping stone idea. Like sometimes there's a stepping stone career that gets you to a different career, you know, so sometimes maybe just clear energy blocks in the way of you, like denial blocks in the way of like, because sometimes you just don't see what stepping stones there are like, that are like right in front of you that would help move you forward. And sometimes it's a volunteer job that is a stepping stone, or you know, some kind of a hobby that's a stepping stone, or you know, but so clear blocks and heal wounds, and just also clear energy around like short-term versus long-term plans and dreams, because there are some short-term and some long-term, and you know, if you're so blocked, then you think it's all at once, and it's kind of paralyzing because you're not really realizing the little baby steps and doing them. So I hope that makes sense. Someone says, thanks for your advice, Janet. I didn't realize I was being invasive. Yeah, because people always think like, okay, mean people are invasive, cruel people are invasive, angry people are invasive. So if you don't feel mean, angry, or cruel, you're like, well, I'm not invasive. I just want all these people to be happy, you know? But like you want it to the point where you're like, you know? So yeah, so just work on calling your energy back and uncord their grounding, and you know, work on the heart chakra stuff that makes you wish that they were more like you. You know, just flowers for your heart chakra. You know, energy healing flowers for your heart chakra. Anyway, can abandonment and rejection baggage be stored at the level of the heart chakra? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So just, you know, fourth chakra, fourth layer, you know, just lots of gold light. You know, energy healing flowers for your fourth chakra. Just angels, can you check them and give them to yourself? All right. What a great note to end on. You guys are amazing. And yeah, hope these techniques helped. And the third healing on this, the third and final healing of this triplet set will be in 2 days, on Tuesday, the 7th of February, 2023. And then there'll be a twin set that is separate from this, but will have the same theme, on February 19th and February 21st, Sunday and Tuesday of 2023. Okay, you guys are amazing, and I will show my dogs at the end because some people like them. So why not? Alrighty. All right. So there's Izzy, and there's Daisy over there. Right there, that's Daisy. And there's Abel coming around. Alrighty, you guys are amazing. So congratulations for healing yourself. You're so awesome. Go, go, woo, woo.